Ladies and gentlemen, it is the way better NPCs -1. The reason for us three today is because Rob did not play the first Zero Dawn Horizon Zero Dawn. I knew I was going to fuck it up. For two
Every
years, I
time.
told Rob I messed the name up, and we talked about it today. He was like, "I just let you do it at one point, and I never fixed it." Horizon Zero Dawn. What's the name? I don't want to say two.
Forbidden West.
Forbidden West.
Forbidden West. What
Yeah.
a opening we got, ladies and gentlemen, for you. We had a state of play today. It was about 14 minutes of gameplay, which my dumbass thought it was 40 when I was so excited in our group chat. I was like, 40 minutes. It was 14 with a very brief, like 2 to 3 minutes after, just a little breakdown detail and them saying, we're going to show more in the coming months, weeks, whatever. We wanted to give you guys a little quick rundown of how we thought the game looked, where it's at, where we think it's at, and where we think Horizon Zero Dawn is in the Sony line. I have to think every time is where we think it is in the lineup of exclusivities of PlayStation. Greg, I'm gonna let you go first. Well, Amit, did you play this most recently?
Yeah, I played it. Yeah,
let's have you start
last year,
because you've got the game is fresh in your mind.
Yeah,
and now you can go on a bit. What did you think about the 14-minute gameplay trailer? Like it, dislike it, more excited, not really excited yet?
Yeah, no, if anything, it made me more excited for it. We'll talk about it later where I rank Horizon Zero Dawn in terms of the PS4 games that were out, that came out on the PS4 era and where this ranks. But no, I thought this game, I'm more excited for it. It looks gorgeous.
It does.
The music was really good. The things that they're like, the environments looked much more full. The colors were vibrant.
Yes, very, very.
With like a knock on like Breath of the Wild, people talked about was like, hey, look, the areas are kind of barren and stuff like that, right? I felt like Horizon Zero Dawn was kind of the same way until you actually came upon like maybe like some buildings that you can like go through. It was just kind of barren.
Desert land or like forest land that was open.
Right. This was like what they're showing in this mission, like, even when you first see the three like mech dinosaurs or whatever, like Aloy was like jumping to the side and like jumped over like some pillars and then like into the water, like having all of that stuff around, it just felt so vibrant and it felt so full and it felt like this is going to be the awesome stuff. I feel like the stealth aspect, besides just going in red forest field, is going to be much more fun to do with that. So I thought like the extra stuff they added, and just visually, I played on a regular PS4 the first game, where everyone was like, "This game is amazing," but I guess everyone's playing on a PS4 Pro. I was like, yeah. For me, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's fine." But seeing this, even though it was compressed on YouTube and it was probably in 30 frames per second, and
it looked so good compressed. Like in my mind, I was like, "This is gonna look so good." Like it looks good on this buffering thing. It's gonna look good.
Once I get it on my OLED, I'm gonna be floored. I believe it. I'm gonna be floored.
It's gonna be the game that you're like, "Whoa, this is really the power of these next gen systems."
And when I saw Ratchet and Clank's like preview last week.
It looked phenomenal.
That looked amazing. It looked so colorful.
But that's like the cartoony.
Right.
Yeah.
This looks just as
colorful, but this is like the realistic.
Right.
Like what can these systems do? And that's the game.
Yeah. So just the quick rundown of it. Like I have much more to talk about in terms of like what I liked about it. But you guys tell me what you guys thought. Just quick.
Yeah. Go ahead, Greg. You can take it away.
I second all the things you said. Something that stood out to me, I think, San Francisco is going to be a really cool environment, having the bay there for the water and all that. And like, even just seeing the, I think with the first game, part of the like, oh, wow moment was like, oh, it is like, we're in Colorado, we're in Denver.
That's where the first one was?
Yeah.
I was going to ask that.
So I guess it wasn't that
forgot.
a while. But, yeah, like it was kind of, you didn't know where it was set and it was kind of like a twist. So now that we know it's like Earth, just distant future Earth. Like it's cool that we get to know the city going in. Golden Gate Bridge in the background looked awesome. I really like what they were showing off with like the maneuverability, like just being able to free climb anywhere and using your like focus to see where to climb. Adding in a grappling hook and a glider seemed like great moves. Just to
The
make
glider was dope, but that was very Breath of the Wild.
It's smart. Like there's nothing
need a
worse
glider
than climbing up something tall and then,
No, I
like,
agree.
repelling down it.
Yeah.
And then getting up fast with a grappling hook. Like all those things look really cool. New weapons, like a little more melee that actually looks kind of like improved and
yeah, the melee was pretty standard in the first one.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Being bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just you didn't want to use it. And then just seeing like some of the new, like I think Santino said like look like velociraptors in our group text.
Yeah.
Like cool new machine dinosaurs.
The mechs,
animals,
the elephant and all that.
Yeah.
Like it's such a cool idea, like all this futuristic tech, but it's kind of like primal. It's a weird concept, cool game. I love it. So
yeah. Like Greg said, like you said, I agree with everything. When the trailer started, I truly had no idea where the setting was. Like I'm like, are we on like are we in Fiji? What kind of beach are we on? Where are we at? And then they got to the bridge and I was like, oh, okay, that's a nice little twist to see the environment that's built or changed throughout time of what's going on in the planet. I think the only thing, because you both have hit on really good positives. This isn't really a negative. The only thing I noticed that to me personally was overwhelming in the first game was the weapons wheel, when you would change your bows and certain types of electric and stun, and the ones you can sit on the ground and they walk on it and it blows up. That list of when whoever was playing, they showed it. It looked overwhelming to me. Like there was a lot there.
That's one of my knocks on the original game is like you could have like 4 bows that are the same, but like for different tribes or whatever. Like the weapon stuff. It has to be more Ratchet and Clank, where like each individual thing is much more different than just like, oh, this has basically the same, but
I get it because there's so many different like elemental weapons. Like it's electric, fire. I think there was a freeze, ice, and I think there was a wind one as well, right?
I think it's like an armor knockoff.
Armor.
Like heavy.
Yeah, because it was due to the different, so many mechs.
Yeah,
and each mech had a different weak point and so forth. And I
get
it.
Yeah, it was like the wheel was smaller and you could just hit like a D-pad button to switch ammo, as opposed to having to select the correct ammo in the wheel.
And it would slow down the game, right? When you got into your wheel slightly, not really. It wasn't noticeable, but
that might have been a PS4 OG issue.
Okay.
I don't know if that was something that happened much. Oh, you mean like slow down?
I think
I thought it kind of did. If I'm not mistaken,
like intentionally, like so
yes.
You're right.
So like you weren't switching weapons and you were getting killed off.
Exactly.
Off switching bows or something.
Like it was chugging along or something.
No.
Yeah.
But that's honestly my only knock. Visually, the game is going to look fantastic. The first one looked fantastic from the PS4 standard to the Pro. But that was the one game that made my PS4 sound like it was going to take flight. Outside of visuals, like you said, the grappling and the climbing looks like it's going to matter a lot more than the climbing did, like to evade in the first game.
Yeah.
You fought like other humans in the first game, but it really wasn't the focus. I want to say there's a lot. I don't think this is the case, but they made it seem like the focus is going to be more on the human fighting with a side of the robots. Like the boss is going to be a robot, as like the last one.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Came in pretty late in the first one, if I recall.
Right.
But I think it's kind of cool they have the ability to override them, kind of like you do.
Yeah, which I think that this part of the game is very early on, because she's like, whoa, they're riding them. So like that's going to be like a big thing. So this must have been very, very early on in the game.
And like this is an open world game that I wish I did complete the DLC for. Just because the stories were always interesting. Like the whole it got bland like any other game, but the DLC when I played of it was pretty interesting and kept me wanting to go. I fell out of it and started it last summer and I just never got around to it. But they made it seem like there's going to be so many different levels of stories in this game. I just don't hope it's at the level of like a Witcher 3. I was happy with how it was paced and set up in the first game. It never felt like anything was like a task you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be those missions where it's like, okay, this is a chill mission where you just have to scout something because you just went through the ringer. And I get that. I'm okay with that. But if there's multiple missions of like, you have to use the tracker to find footsteps over and over and over.
Yeah, that was
annoying. And I can do without that. But you can tell they're making this game to be far bigger, which the first one was already bigger or was already big than that. And it's going to be a huge game. It's going to be, I mean, San Francisco, there's going to be so many like important areas they want you to see. Like the Golden Gate Bridge was the first one. And they want you to get lost in the world and be like, oh shoot, this is this spot, this is that spot. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I think like the first game was more about like uncovering the mystery of what happened.
Right?
Yep.
And now that like there's a goal and it's like going to be saving the world.
The world from the red blight.
That part is kind of like, I'm not sure how sold I am on that story.
Well, I don't. Yeah, it's that part, but also like the stuff she uncovers, and like then there's that guy who's like kind of shady. I don't remember names or characters. But I thought it can go pretty cool places, I think. Yeah. And I think it's all about like finding the tech and stuff. And like the San Francisco makes a ton of sense for that. So
yeah,
it should go in an interesting direction for the story. I think I'm open. Yeah, I think the first one, like once I kind of figured it was Colorado, it's like, yeah, well, something had to make these things turn bad. I didn't like the explanation wasn't the,
it was a long build up to get to the answer that you like, to the answer you received.
Yeah. So
like it felt too long at one point.
The story, the part that was cooler about it was like the environment, and you just like kind of understood the story of what was going on, and you figured it out. But like the huge beats weren't anything that was like super,
it had
amazing.
It was underwhelming parts.
One of those issues with the open world game where there's so many characters and so many different names.
You lose track of who's who.
And then you start like going off on tangents and discovering stuff, and you go away from the main line for 4 hours, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell?
What the hell did I just do?
And one of the good things about the first game is if you wanted to mainline it, you can mainline it very, very easily. And so I'm hoping that I didn't really want to do any of the side stories.
That's fair. I mean, you didn't miss out on too much.
There was just a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff like you're saying, like hunt these foot track, like the
So let me cut you off real quick, Amit, and Greg. I'm going to ask you this: were those side missions more just to get familiar with the different kind of mechs it felt to you, or did you find a lot of good story in it, or a decent amount?
If I remember correctly, I think like if you do certain side missions, you kind of bring in new people. And then in the big fight at the end, like they come to help you and support you.
Oh, I never knew that.
And I think so. Like I always like it when you're, it's not like you're assembling a team, but like you're making relationships throughout the game world, and then those have some payoff later. It's not just like I helped this kid find this cat, and then he goes.
And you never see. Okay, my bad. Go for it. Go for it.
No. So I mean, I hope in this game, the side stories that they have are going to be more in terms of something that I want to do. In the first game, I didn't want to as much. I was kind of like, hey, let's find out where I am right now. Let's find out, let's find out more about me being a clone. Let's find out more about that kind of stuff. So I was more interested in that story than I was in like, I love those missions where I had to like do the stealth stuff and go into like help that one like crazy stealthy dude into like the hideouts. But besides that, I was like, I don't care about helping this one lady that's by a fire that's like, hey, I've lost my dad.
Like I said, there's always those side missions that it's like Greg said, you're helping the kid find the cat, and there's no payoff at the end. And
you never know what kind of side mission is going to be. So I hope that there's no way it can do this, but in Miles Morales, they had like the little phone app. So what side mission you want to do if you want to do it. I hope somehow, like Aaron, the secondary character or whatever, he had an earpiece now too, right? Which I don't think he had it in the first game, at least for the majority of the game. So like it'd be cooler if more people have those. So
they figured out the technology, right?
And And we know that you can communicate with those because they did that, like the bad guys did it in the first game, right? So I hope that there's a system like they had in Spider-Man Miles Morales where like, hey, you could do the side mission just by pulling up the little thing and it'll tell you what missions you can do because other people have it. That would be cool. So I can know like, yes, I want to do this side mission or I don't want to do it and it's not going to matter.
Well, I think you might be in luck because it does seem to me like in a lot of the Sony games, at least the first party games and exclusives, they're kind of pushing for something like that in the story missions so they can use those play cards where you can jump into like a mission like right away.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to see that a lot more because I agree. It's nice being able to, all right, this is an important one. This is not. And then you can even look at that timestamp. Is this a 5-minute mission?
Yeah.
Or is it a 30-minute
timestamp. Yeah.
And then you'll know like, oh, expected play time's 30 an hour. It's like, oh, this is probably a meteor side mission I want to do.
Damn wild. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't have a PS5.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
It's that time, man.
Stop giving them away.
I mean, one question for you. Do you think not wanting to do the side missions was a product of it being a backlog game that like you're trying to get to?
I was going to ask that too.
Or was it like they just were not interesting at all?
Well, I mean, we'll go into this because I know it's a topic I want to do, but I'm not going to say this game is not for me. The first game, I'm not going to say it's not for me. Okay. But in terms of the other PS5, yes, part of it is exclusive. Is there's a lot of games I wanted to play, so it's on a backlog. But I am more Melee, and the first game did not do that for me. I'm more of a like after playing God of War and Spider-Man, those games were just top tier to me. And this game was the first game was just better than okay, but not like mind-blowingly amazing, you know? Obviously I'm excited for this. It made me excited for the second one, but nowhere near where I was excited for God of War Ragnarok or Miles Morales or whatever's coming after that. So yeah, it's part backlog, but part like, yeah, I want just the main story. I don't care about it. Like there's so many characters like in the beginning when you're like, hey, you need to like, you get out of the gates for the first time. They're like, hey, go meet this person who's my mom. I was like, I don't remember any of your names and I don't care until this trailer. I forgot Aaron's name was Aaron. Right? Like,
same. I didn't know his name. I didn't know his name.
You were in the first game, right?
Yeah.
Besides Aloy, like I did not remember anyone's. I think the other guy's name. I think the one guy's name is Rowan, right?
Who the guy that was talking to her?
Yeah, the
guy that's in John Wick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is his name Rowan? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember anybody's name in the game, but Aloy. I'm gonna be 100% with you.
Wait, is his name
Too many characters?
Is his last name Riddick? Like.
Something Riddick,
Louis Riddick.
Louis Riddick. Yes. Yeah, there we go.
To piggyback with what Amit's saying, because we want to talk about where we think this series lines up in their exclusive lineup, and this is what I thought when you brought up that we should talk about this. This was like one of the newer, fresher IPs in the PS4. Like, this is our new big game that's going to wow you, our open world game. And everybody had the jokes of this is Breath of the Wild, but on PS4 because they released at the same time and whatever. But my comparison to this is what was the game that I didn't finish before Last of Us, guys? The ninja game.
Sekiro?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
That was after Last of Us, but it's okay.
And I'm sorry, after. And I'm not saying they're the same game, but it's like this is that new IP that not IP, but new exclusive that nobody knew anything about and wasn't sure about. But damn, did it wow! It wowed everybody that played it. You might not love like the little things of like the annoying characters or having to remember 100 different characters, but like I'm not saying it's a perfect game. I'm not saying it's a 90. It may be in the 80s, but it's one of those things where Sony hit a home run on a brand new game, and people talked about it. People loved it, and I think it was that. I don't want to say it's like this is going to be their big like wow on the PS5. Like it's going to be the best thing that comes out, but it's the best filler before or after the best thing you just played.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of game in. There's so much game in there. There's so much, you could put 200 hours in and not even complete 75% of the game. Whether that's quality content, that's up for not me to decide. But I just think they struck gold with this series where it's like they can do 3 games like original God of War. Now that obviously they're going to be on their 5th. Ragnarok is going to be the 5th God of War.
5th mainline.
Yeah,
5th mainline. But it's going to get a trilogy like an Uncharted. It's going to get, it's one of the. It's going to be a household name.
Yeah. Gorilla did what?
They did Killzone
before this, right? And
yes. They got 3 games.
And this game's
4.
already
4.
And the first one was, I think, better than any Killzone game. Right, I think Horizon was better.
I played the 3-stack when I first got a PS3, right before the PS4 came out, and then I played Killzone and 2K were my first 2 PS4 games, and Killzone was underwhelming.
Right, it's just like a Halo competitor.
Right, so this game coming from Guerrilla, where Killzone being underwhelming, and then they put this out. It's like, why weren't you doing this?
That was them branching out and saying, hey, we can do more than a third person or first person shooter.
Yep.
Fucking CD Projekt, you can't do anything but a Witcher. But anyways,
yeah, and I think like a lot of the times, like when there's a new IP, the sequels take a big jump.
Right.
The problem is
especially under PlayStation, under PlayStation,
getting people to play the first one. Like that's the problem I think Dishonored had, where everyone was like, Dishonored 2 is so good, but no one played Dishonored 1, so no one played Dishonored 2.
Is it going to be like Last of Us though? Where everybody loved the first one and then something leaks and then they just hate it to hate it.
I mean, I don't think so.
You don't think it's that type of game?
I don't think there are story beats that people are so invested in.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Never. I don't think that's possible for this game.
Unless someone's killing Aloy in this game, and then
unless it's drastic,
else,
right?
Then
if they start killing all the main characters and all their exclusives, then we're gonna have a problem, Sony. But anyways,
don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't either.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think like if it can make that like Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2 jump, where it kind of tightens things up, it figures out what worked, what didn't work.
That's a good comparison.
Don't be a super Ubisoft game.
I was just gonna say this is a game that has to have closure. It cannot continue for past its like 3rd game.
Oh, I think it'll go 3 or 4.
But I don't want it to turn into the universe of Assassin's Creed where a new character drops in after Aloy is retired.
Sure. Oh yeah, I didn't mean it.
I don't want it to be that kind of series.
I meant it more like limit how many things I have to pick up and like the boxes I have to check. More Ghost, less Assassin's Creed, if that makes sense. In terms of
I didn't finish Ghost, so I don't know what you mean like less
like check
side missions?
No, like check boxes on a map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Amit understands what I'm saying, right?
No, I get. I haven't played Ghost yet, but I'm excited to play.
No,
Ghost.
I know what you're saying. I agree. That's why it's funny. Like Assassin's Creed is overkill at this point.
Yeah, no, like in Assassin's Creed, like in every town, you have to do like a stealth assassination.
It's stupid. Well, that's a story for another time. No, but I got it. I got you, Greg. Keep going. I got you.
Because the first one got a little too close to that.
Yeah,
for my liking.
It did. It really did.
Yeah.
So did you play the DLC? Not for whatever it was called.
Frozen Tundra or whatever.
Frozen Tundra.
Frozen Wild.
Frozen Wild. Wait, what is the game? What is the game we're talking about called? Wild. Forbidden Wild.
West.
Forbidden West.
Fuck! I'm never gonna get this series name right.
Yeah, I put down the game, and then by the time the DLC came out, I lost all my skill. But I would. One thing, and we'll talk about this when we're ranking games. Let's move on.
There's going to be more of this conversation because there's still more to be shown of this game.
Yeah, we need to know what the DualSense stuff is. I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff the DualSense is.
I need to say something that Greg said because he put it down. I will never forget this. I don't know. I'm going to give a date here. It's random. I will tell you this. I played the game off launch. I got to a level where I thought I was having such a hard time, and I play all story games on normal. I'm not like Greg. I can't do anything on like hardcore difficulty because I just like to beat the game and be done.
Oh, I go on the easiest difficulty for that.
Well,
let me get through it.
You're a liar, Greg. You plan everything. Anyways, So it was like 2017. I'll never forget. I'm literally in my apartment with Fatima and her friend, and I'm playing a mission, and I'm like, I think I'm done with this game. I rebuy the game on my PS4 Pro, the digital version with all the DLC for like $9. And I'm going through the main story again. And I did this with 2 games that this past pandemic. I get to the point where I stopped in 2017 or whatever year it was. I beat that point, and it was the last fucking level of the main story. And I'm like, this is it. This is how it ends. This is what I was stuck on, and I just gave up on it because I had a physical copy and I traded it into GameStop when I was done with it. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna rebuy this game because I loved the main story. I love the mechanics. It was fun to learn, and the DLC's there, and it's like $9.
Yeah.
And I was so mad at myself. And then I played another piggyback off Greg's previous statement. I played the DLC like maybe 2-3 hours, and it turned into the Assassin's Creed checkbox where they had you doing so many things because they wanted you to like get immersed in like how it looked in the snow and this and that, and meet 150 random characters. But you were just doing honeydew list like the first 3 hours, and you're just like, get to the point. Like I truthfully don't even remember in those 3 to 5 hours what the DLC was about.
It's also weird because that DLC takes place before the end of the first one. Yep. So like you finish it and then it moves you back in time. It like resets, and it doesn't really give you incentive then to play.
Right.
Like, you know how it ends.
I don't. So we talked about our thoughts of it. We talked about things we kind of are looking forward to, yada, yada. The biggest shocker that I texted our group chat immediately, and Greg was on top of Amit, was being a dad and telling us, shut up, was Sony, which they usually do a good job giving, but Rob made a point that this was the first state of play. There wasn't a date. And we have used this, which is no longer an excuse. It's a factor of life at this point. We've made this point that COVID has pushed everything we've wanted, everything we've seen or haven't seen yet back 6 months to a year, some things longer. We get it. I was still shocked to not see a date. In our conversations we've all had about what's coming in regards to Sony and Microsoft, we were all pretty much on the same page in regards to thinking this was coming a holiday or fall of 2021.
Yeah, if you're doing a state of play, you think it's close, right? Like, that's, I think that we're all in that.
And that was the statement that Rob made, and you guys we all agreed on. Like, if you're doing a state of play, like this is like 6 months out. You know, like I feel like it wouldn't be a year out if you're giving me a state of play and you're showing me 15 minutes of gameplay. Yeah.
Personally, well, you can go, Greg. Go ahead.
Go, Greg.
Just like when was, because we've had 2 Ratchet state of plays since the reveal. We had the reveal, then didn't we have like 2 Ratchet state of plays, or am I misremembering?
No, I think just one.
Okay, so the reveal had the date, and then the state of play announced basically that it was being delayed a little bit to June. And I'm just wondering if maybe, hopefully, they're learning from their mistakes and like, okay, if it's over X amount of months out, we're just not saying anything. Yeah. But like, what's it matter if we know?
It doesn't, though.
Say it's in September or October. What's the difference between us knowing that now and knowing it in 2 to 3 months?
Sure.
Because they're tired of the backlash of we're giving a date, but then we're going to need to give a delay.
That's what I'm saying. So like, it doesn't hurt them to just sit on it and start being accurate.
Oh, okay. I thought you were okay. Amit, I'm going to get a little off topic here. With them not showing a date for this, and you and I had more in-depth conversation. Greg was a little bit in on it. The Ragnarok release dates, is it going to follow the similar path of this? Where
no chance
it's going to get pushed further.
Yeah, no chance it comes out 2021.
Because it's been 5 years. Has it 5 years since the last game?
2018, right?
It's been way longer for Horizon.
17
since the first game. 16 was Horizon.
17 was God of War. And
16.
Yeah, it was
16 was Horizon.
When did the launch? When did Switch launch? It was right then.
2017.
So it's 2017.
did Horizon?
I think Horizon was
2017 November.
April. Oh, November.
November. It was the holiday release.
The Switch.
Oh, I'm talking Horizon. The Horizon date. Horizon
Which
1.
was March 2017.
Switch was like spring. Yeah.
Yep.
Then no, it came out in the spring. It got delayed.
Yeah, March.
To the spring.
Yeah.
Horizon got delayed to the spring.
Okay.
They came out
It
got released the same day as Breath of the Wild.
Well,
That's
here.
why it gets compared all the time.
Yeah. So Horizon, it
says November 7th, 2017.
It got delayed.
January 2017.
It got delayed.
And that's the next one. That's
March.
the Wikipedia.
It was March, man.
Bro, what do you think? Fuck nothing. The first 12 articles November, January. Anyways,
are you searching Horizon Zero Dawn or Zero Dawn Horizon?
Horizon Zero Dawn. Fuck you, Greg. Horizon Zero Dawn release date.
Yeah. No. So
fucking Forza Horizon.
So I have two things that in terms of release date, right? They don't say Q3, Q4. You would at least said that they're trying to target Q3, Q4. So I don't think this game's coming out
February 28th, 2017.
There you go. So it came out
one week before.
Yeah. So it came out a few weeks. Yeah. So I don't think this game's coming out until 2022. By not putting a date, either saying Q3, Q4, I think it's 2022. But after, just like Sony always does, after the state of play was done, they put out the little blog spot or whatever they do, and they said that this game was still on track. So on track would mean
what is on track though? What was our track?
They said
2021. Okay.
They said second half of 2021.
Did they say that before COVID or after COVID?
During
COVID. We're not after COVID yet.
During the initial reveal, I think they said 2021.
When was the reveal? I don't remember any of this. I'm asking serious questions here.
June of 2020. I think.
Okay, so during COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so their E3, if they did E3 in 2020, it was that during that presentation where it showed the PS5. Yeah, exactly.
It was the best one ever. It was so good.
It was very good. And remember the opening game and the opening game was GTA 5 again, right?
Fuck don't do that. I will do a whole video by myself how mad I am at that.
But yeah, they say it's on track, but they don't say hey, it's on track for 2021. They don't say any of that. So I don't think it's till 2022. And I think
where is what Q though of 2022?
I think
where does it is it going to be spring?
I think Q1.
Q1? Okay.
Q1. Yeah, I think Q1. And I don't think Ragnarok will come out until Q4.
I think the end of 2022, correct. Yeah. Greg, when do you think Forbidden Wild West? What the hell is the game called?
Wicked Wild West.
Horizon Zero Dawn Horizon Forza? I don't know anymore. Anyways, Greg, when's it coming out?
Horizon Wild West with Will Smith.
There you go. What a great movie.
It was so bad.
He said no to the Matrix to make that.
My sister took me to that movie when I was a kid. Don't tarnish this memory. I loved it.
What do I say? Release date? October.
You think it's gonna happen? 2021?
God of War is May 22.
October 2021 for Horizon?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I hope.
On track,
I'd be okay with
think.
That. A month after Deathloop, make sure they push the shit out of Deathloop, and then.
Okay, I mean, you keep giving the comparisons of what they got to compete with. Sony doesn't have to compete with nobody.
No, September is their Deathloop. September 14th is Deathloop, and they got a year exclusivity on that from Xbox. So
but here's my thing:
they got to give it time.
When we're doing Sony, I truly believe they can milk Ratchet and Clank since it's a brand new game. It's not like the last one where it was kind of like a reintroduce you to Ratchet and Clank, but it's similar to the very first Ratchet and Clank kind of game. They can get away with having this as their banger game in what year are we in? 2021. And the start of 2022 can be Horizon.
Yeah.
And they can, Greg, Sony has a lead in exclusive games.
Oh, they can, but I don't think they look at it that way. If they really, with delays and stuff, I don't think they have this, every 3 months or every this. They released The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima a month apart last year.
Because there's no PS, but I think they just ran out of time. I think that there was, because PS5 was coming out, they were like, we just need to start ramping up PS5, and they had no PS5 updates for it, or didn't make it exclusive to PS5. So they had to push them out at that point. That's what I truly believe. I think that if they had extra time, they would have been like, let's space these out, but we can't. We need Miles Morales, and we need Demon's Souls to be like our number ones right now as
Okay.
the console out.
And my thing of them being able to sit on a game for a year, them not giving a date, you'll never know about a delay at this point.
True.
Because when they do give the date, you'll never know if it was meant to be before that.
Yeah.
So that's why if they say
that's why they're not doing it.
Or like it's not going to be January. It'll be like February of 2022, because it's like those spring releases are coming. They'd be able to do that. But with everything opening up, with people, the game devs all being back, Horizon is going to be like the beginning of the bangers for PlayStation in 2022. There's going to be multiple exclusives that drop in 2022.
Or let's take conspiracy theory. They
here we
want
go.
Breath of the Wild 2 to release their date.
We're not doing this again. We're not doing Breath of
So
the Wild
then they are not doing comparisons again.
No, we're not doing that.
Easy, Jeff Grubb.
I don't want, just like your Switch Pro is never going to happen, even though it is going to happen.
It got leaked today.
It did. I saw that. But if this thing magically lines up with Breath of the Wild 2,
I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
I will lose it. I can't believe that's the comparison to this game. They're so different.
What the real comparison should be is that Nintendo, Sony both have banger games out, and
Here we go.
you're sitting looking at your Game Pass, wondering where the next Xbox first party game.
We're gonna find out in June.
And thank you for that wonderful transition, because the best game on Xbox right now is Knockout City. Anyways,
Also free on your PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and computer.
and computer.
But only for a week, I thought. And then you got
3 months. It's like 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a month. I thought it was a week for free.
Anyways,
Hope not.
but regardless of when this drops, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to do great. I really was, though, shocked at not seeing a date at the end of that. It's a little worrisome. It's because Ratchet and Clank is only going to be a 15 to 20 hour game. 20 is being generous.
Oh, shit.
What did you just see on Twitter?
Trial version of Knockout City is limited to a 10-day period spanning May 21st to May 30. After this period expires,
How much?
players will be forced to purchase one of the editions of the game unless you have Game Pass.
I got it. Mine's off Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay,
Greg,
so
you
we're
got that
good.
too.
Anyways, not being a
I'm gonna
date.
just buy it off PS5.
I might buy it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Me and Greg are sweating hard and ranked. Anyways, it's worrisome to see that. Not worrisome. Maybe that's not the right word, but it kind of just threw me to not see a date on the one game that for a week or a couple of days they've been like, yep, we're finally showing it. We're showing you gameplay. Usually when you show gameplay, you have a date. Is all I'm saying. So we will see when and if this drops in this year. We should see another state of the play for this. One more state of the play. State of play. Jesus fuck. I'm drunk. State of play.
Horizon Zero the Dawn.
I wasn't even going to do the title of the game. I'm so lost with that. It's not even funny. We'll see one more. There better be a date. If there's not a date there, Greg, it's not coming in October.
Well, yeah. I think we're gonna have a date like within a month.
Before they even show more footage and description of what it does with the new controller.
Yeah, like basically they said we're on track. There'll be more updates on that very soon.
Okay.
Really
So, and as everybody knows, Sony doesn't do E3s anymore. They have their own thing. So their whole thing at Staples Center will probably be this game and one of the new 25 exclusives that they have coming.
Another discussion. I don't think they're going to do a big event.
You don't think they'll do an event this year? Did they do one last year?
I think it'll just be a state of play. No,
I think it'll all be
because of
digital.
COVID.
Yeah.
But I don't know
forgot
if they're ever going to go to an in-person event type deal again.
I think Sony being Sony, they're going to do a big WoW event with people there and the music, crazy music like they had with Last of Us 2. Just to be like,
PSX. They did.
Well, maybe they won't do an event. I hope they do an event. I like their events outside of E3. I thought they were cool. But E3 will be another discussion for another time. To close this, as we always tell each other, what are we playing? Oh, Greg's got something. We got to speed around.
Me wanted to rank them. Me wanted to rank where Horizon falls in with your other exclusives.
Forza Horizon Zero Dawn. Got it.
Yes.
All right. So here's for me. So I was talking about it earlier. Whereas this state of play got me, or as Santino says, state of the play got me.
Don't do this.
It got me more excited for the game because after going through these PS4 games, I haven't played FF7 yet. Right, that's good. Right when I think June 10th the PS5 version comes out, that's June 10th.
That's 1 and 2,
right?
Last of Us and FF7, 1 and 2 for me.
And I haven't played Ghost yet, but I feel like I would have liked Ghosts more than I would have liked Horizon Zero Dawn. Just because that's more melee combat. I think it looks so cool. It was super stylish. Like, you choose the way you want to play. Like that was like more.
I should have gave that a better chance than I did, man. I missed that. I really need to go back and play that.
You messed up on that.
I did, but I was in that weird transition phase to PC, and I didn't want to play anything anymore. And the PS5s were coming out, and I was like, all right, buy PS4. Well, anyways, go ahead of me.
So I have God of War's 1, Spider-Man was 2, Last of Us Part 2 is 3, and then I'm probably, like I said, I probably like FF7 somewhere up there. I'll probably like Ghost, and then Horizon, right? Like all those other ones are probably like more interesting to me than Horizon Zero Dawn was.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely higher on my list. I'd go.
What's higher? Horizon?
Yeah. Okay. I'd go Last of Us Part 2, God of War.
Oh, you guys got God of War high up there.
Oh, it's amazing.
But here's my thing. Did you guys play all the previous God of Wars?
My first one was God of War 3. That's why I bought it.
This was my first God of War.
Oh.
So that's probably why I have a different outlook, but I don't know.
No, I mean, you don't.
I love the game. Don't get me wrong. I love the game.
Other than grabbing the Blades of Olympus in this game, which was like, oh shit. But I played the first. But other than that, it was all its own game. I thought it was.
That's what a lot of people said. You didn't need to play the other ones to play that.
Yeah, I don't think you did. So yeah, I had those 1 and 2. We're doing third-party exclusives as well. So Death Stranding. No, I'll do Final Fantasy 7, and then fourth is probably Horizon. I thought Horizon
more than Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think, and before Greg finishes, I think because I love Spider-Man, I'm a Spider-Man fan. I think I put it on a pedestal and made it higher than what it really was, to be honest.
Spider-Man is a really fun superhero game, which is like awesome. We need those right now.
But it's like any other superhero game.
A lot of fun. But the combat.
You want to play the Avengers? You're telling me that Spider-Man?
Okay.
But
fair.
But the combat isn't anything like revolutionary.
It's Arkham. It's Arkham combat.
Really cool physics and stuff.
Great. Yeah, the traversal is amazing.
No, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's nothing new.
Sure.
Yeah, but this is why I put it above Spider-Man. Like Horizon was just like a brand new world, brand new story. The combat, I think, is some of the most unique combat where it's like, yes, it's kind of a shooter, but like it's more tactical and you're like picking off pieces of armor. It's kind of like a Monster Hunter, but not as nitty gritty.
Gotcha.
I really enjoyed the combat and stuff. Like it was so fun, like trying to figure out how to take down a new.
Yeah, combos were exciting and whatnot in that game.
All that stuff. So yeah, I thought like that was really probably like up there. So I'll put it at 4, and I'm not gonna go and rank the rest.
I enjoyed that game. I think Greg did 4, top 4, and you put Horizon at 4.
I ended when I hit Horizon.
Right. I don't know if because this game came out while the pandemic was starting and I needed to get lost in it, and because the other one came out as the pandemic was already full-fledged, I think I might put Final Fantasy at my 1 because I never played Final Fantasy.
You wouldn't be the only person, man.
I was very, we always say it. Rob says it. You guys all say it. I was so impressed with it, but I was able to get lost in that during a time where things just sucked. And the same goes for The Last of Us. But I felt like I was just defending The Last of Us. It was a tiring thing where it's like, I'm the bad guy for thinking the game is good when the game is good. Don't get me wrong there. Those two are easily 1 and 2 for me. Third, I think it's fair to put, just to keep it simple, because I can't, there's too many for 3. I think putting Horizon 4 and below is where it belongs, whether it's your Greg's 4, whether it's your 7 or whatever yours was. I think there's
Cop-out answer.
No, because I think that there's 3 standout games for sure. And there's 5 that could be in that top 3, in my opinion. And Horizon doesn't fall in that top 3 for me out of those 5 or 6 exclusive games that could be 1, 2, and 3. I'd probably say it would be for me, God of War is 3. But then the list gets even lower for me for Horizon. I loved Horizon. I'd put Spider-Man next. I'd put Uncharted next. No, I'd put Horizon over Uncharted. I'm sorry. That's just me though. So it would fall in like the 5, 6 for me, in all honesty.
Probably missing some too, like Bloodborne was really good.
Right.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I didn't play Bloodborne.
Yeah,
so but I'm sure it's
and
great.
probably the way people talk about Bloodborne, and like,
exactly
up there too.
So Horizon could just continuously go lower.
Right.
I'm trying to.
But that just shows how good PlayStation games.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's the point I want to make.
Damn, it's so
it could
good.
be at
that's
10,
like
and that's still a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
When you said like there's a standout top 3, it's like there's like a standout top like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Right. 5 was my cop-out answer for how many.
How do you
and
order
depending on how good,
right.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with Ratchet 2016 too, right? Like in terms of like a
Ratchet and Clank is my childhood.
I had a lot of fun with that too. You know, I Horizon has more to it, but so I'd rank Horizon over Ratchet. But like I want to play Ratchet and Clank or Rift between times, or whatever it's called. Rift Apart.
See, we don't know titles of games. We just do this.
Titles,
yeah, we should. But my point is, like, and you could even take out Final Fantasy because it's a remake, which is whatever for me. And if you want brand new Sony games that you've never seen before, that top 2 is that Horizon is not falling top 2, and it's sure as hell not top 3. But it being at 5 and below, 10 and below,
the quality.
It's still a quality game that outshines a lot of games you're going to play. So
and this sequel, with everything they showed, it was the first game turned up 100%. So this game might jump up the list after it comes out.
See, but it could jump up the list, but there's 25 other games that it's got to compete with.
That's true.
And I'm not saying all 25 are going to be bangers, but I guarantee you 5 are going to be.
Against one Xbox One X exclusive.
Horizon?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd still take Gears over.
Take Gears over it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Gears.
I wouldn't take Gears over it. You guys know I'm over Gears and Halo, so I wouldn't take it over that.
I think
5 was really good.
Yeah,
it was. I'll give it that.
I'd do Horizon over it, but yeah.
I mean, when they but they're like, obviously they're completely different games. But just having the multiplayer aspect of Gears, it's like I love playing games with people when I can, and that game is fun as hell. Playing 3 with 2 of my other friends, See,
but Horizon is an easy top 3 in comparison to where it is in Sony.
That was the point I was making more.
Because Gears and Halo, and I'm not giving you Forza up there with that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, in terms of Xbox One, Xbox One had nothing, right? I mean, Titanfall 2.
Rob's gonna. We had to give it Titanfall 2. Shout out Rob. Yeah. I mean,
even though that was on everything, though. That was on everything. So the first Titanfall. So the first Titanfall. But no. But you know what I mean? Like in terms of Xbox One, yes. In terms of the future of Xbox Series, including Bethesda now, like it's gonna be
the next 2 years are gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be a
gauntlet of games.
A boxing match.
We will see. So, I was gonna get into E3. Let's get on to
that is going to be our next video, either early next week or the week after that will be E3 already, right?
June 13th, Xbox, baby.
So we are going to get a video out next week, all 4 of us, of what we're looking forward to see at E3. If we think any exciting things will happen, or if we think it's going to be dull. I don't know. This is the first E3 in 2 years, right?
Yeah, not last year.
Yeah, not last year. So, and I mean, it's the things you can
and
expect
it's all virtual, like
it's going to be Microsoft, it's going to be Nintendo. That's really all you're going to care about. At least we are going to care about. So that'll be exciting. Yeah, you're going to see the Far Cry release. You're going to see Battlefield. Not Battlefront.
Because it used to be like
Battlefield 6. Yeah.
Yeah, Battlefield 6.
The key five were like Xbox, Nintendo, Sony, and then you
Bethesda.
you have EA will do its own thing. Bethesda,
Ubisoft. Right.
Ubisoft.
Guys, my annual 2K. They would show their sweating physics and whatnot in their games every year.
Such good sweating.
They wouldn't have their own conference, so they just sneak that in somewhere.
Yeah, they would sneak it in. But yeah, so that's gonna be the next thing we discuss. But in closing for Horizon, we're excited for it as always with every game we get. I think this is gonna be a game where at least two of us will have played it to give you an in-depth review. It's not going to be just Greg plays it and gives you a 5-minute synopsis of it. I'm going to play it. I should have a PS5 by the time that thing comes out.
If you watch our last vid and are wondering what the news was,
I didn't want to say it.
I'm having a baby, so like it wasn't something exciting.
The way better NPCs are growing. That is exciting. What do you mean?
Well, for me, it's exciting. But like people are texting you thinking we got sponsored. So like we were like, what a tease. They thought we were getting sponsored. They thought we were like,
yeah, we got sponsored by a headset company. Yeah, right. But anyways, that is a shot for a headset company right now. If you want to sponsor us, I'll gladly give all 4 or 3 of my friends free headsets. Anyways, yes, Greg is having a baby, so the way better NPCs are growing. In 10 years, he's gonna take over this joint and talk about video games with his friends.
I hope Greg's baby loves Xbox way more than Sony. That's what I'm praying.
Yeah, that's like his son turning into a White Sox fan in that household.
This is why he can't hang around you and me.
But yeah, anyways, this is our short thoughts on what we've seen from Horizon. It's coming soon, as they say. No date officially.
It's looking good.
There will be an update video on this when we see more with what they talk about in regards to the controller and then the date. But it has been your boys minus Rob. Rob, we miss you. The way better NPCs. Gregory, I will talk to you soon. We're playing Knockout City. That's the game we're all playing right now. Meet, what are you playing? Outside
Uncharted.
of that,
I got
Uncharted.
Uncharted 1.
So that's what we're playing. There's really nothing out. We need games. Sony and Microsoft. We need it fast. But again, it's been fun. I will talk to you guys soon, and we will talk E3 stuff next week. Bye.